Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I'm going to share my experience with taking TOEFL Home Edition, and I'm going to sort of do a little challenge, and I'm going to reveal my scores and approaches and everything you need to know about taking TOEFL at home. But before we start, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell to make sure you get alerted every time we post a new video. And if you want to sign up for my TOEFL prep course, I have this course. It's brand new. It was just released. And I expose all of my strategies, tips, and tricks on how you can get a great score with minimal effort. If you're ready, the link is going to be down below, and let's get to the video itself. I'm about 2.5 hours out, and there's nothing else I can do. I'm not going to do anything, read anything, prepare anything. All the preparation comes before. And when you sit down to do the test, just focus on one thing at a time. Now, I have a couple of goals for this one. Number one, I want to document my process. Of course, I can't film during the test, but I will talk to you right after. And a little bit before we're going to start setting up, now I'm going to talk about the home edition test. But also, I want to do it as fast as possible. Of course, there are time limitations on, the speaking part and all of that. However, there are no time requirements for the other parts. There are time limits, but not requirements. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure all of your equipment is in check. Your camera, your microphone, and stuff. You can't have headphones, right? They don't want you to have headphones at all. I'm even gonna tuck my hair behind my ear so I can expose my ear so they can see I have nothing here. What else? Webcam, of course. If you want to use like an external speaker, you gotta check that. I'm just using my laptop speakers. I'm doing it on my Mac. Make sure your ID is handy, and make sure you can take notes. And to take notes, this is what they want you to do. To preserve the mystery of the test, they want you to take notes on something you can erase, right? So they recommend either a dry erase board, just like this one, or you can put like a sheet of paper in sort of like a sleeve, like a protective sheet, and write with one of these so that you can just wipe it off. And I didn't have any of that, so I had to go to the store literally just now to buy one of these. Now you want to make sure there's nothing on your desk. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna pass the environment check because my environment is crazy. I have multiple different computers, this one right here, but I mean, whatever they tell me to do, I'm gonna try my best to comply. But I mean, aside from my phone and my wallet, which I'm gonna remove obviously, there's nothing else on my desk aside from test related things. So I should be okay. I should probably take this down though, just put it on the floor so they can't see it. Because this is the computer I usually use here at this desk, but I had to hide the keyboard and mouse right here, as well as remove the monitor and put it on my other desk just temporarily, so I have a clean sort of space right here. So anyway, let's run the quick equipment check and see if we pass the vibe check. System, what is the system? Oh, RAM usage. I mean, yeah, I have stuff open. It's gonna go down. Okay, so I am good. We passed the vibe check. How do I get out of here? Now, the next step, I need to download this browser thing to communicate with the proctor. I'm also just now realizing that I think it's way better to use an external webcam, only because they're gonna want you to show them a 360 of the space that you're in, and it's way easier, to just grab your webcam and sort of pan it around, rather than taking your whole laptop and trying to show them. So I just gotta locate my web camera. This way, I can be like, oh, you wanna see the 360 of my room? No problem. Here you go. You like it? This one is better. I do think I need a longer cord though. See, that's the issue. Make sure you start your prep for the actual test early enough in advance. I'm about an hour out, which is a pretty good timeline. If I was doing it, 20 minutes before, I'll be freaking out for sure because I don't want anything to go wrong. Okay, so when you're an hour out, right, there's nothing really you can do. Just take a deep breath, focus, relax. If you want to study something just to feel better, you can study the templates for the speaking section and for the writing section, of course, because there's structure. But the writing is pretty clear. It comes from the question that they're asking you, so maybe not even that, but definitely the speaking templates is something you can go over. I have a full kind of list of those templates. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go have some tea, stay hydrated, drink some water, go use the bathroom. I'm a nervous peer, so I'm gonna need to, like, my test is at 1:20. I'm gonna need to go use the bathroom at 1 18. So just relax. You got this. You've been preparing for this. You've been studying for this. You know everything you need to do. You've done those speaking and writing parts a million times. You know the structure. You know how it works. There's no mystery in it. You know what to do. And if you're still only thinking about taking the test and you don't have a test coming up like me, and you just, you're trying to get as much information on it as possible, definitely check out my TOEFL prep course. Basically what I'm doing today is backed by the course that I have. I put together this entire prep situation based on my experience taking the test before, and obviously my experience as an English teacher. So check it out. Everything that I'm doing today, or I'm about to be doing today, is sponsored by the materials that I prepared. So I kind of took it into my own hands in terms of my prep for the test. And I'm not doing it for any reason other than just to show you how to do it. So, all right. I'm gonna just take my time, focus, and I'll see you after the test. Okay, I'm done and I'm exhausted. So I started my test at around, with the setup and everything, around maybe, it was scheduled for 1:20 p.m. I started maybe at 1:30 p.m. or so, and I finished at about 3 o'clock. So it took me an hour and a half to get through the test. However, it was very tough for me because I'm just, as a person, I'm not a good test taker, and I've never been a good test taker. And obviously, just like with any test, TOEFL doesn't rely on your knowledge of English or your mastery over English alone. As with any test, you need to prep for it. You need to know the formula. You need to know the sections and what the structure is and kind of what they're looking for. You're sort of like playing a game in a way. So a lot of my strategies that I prepared were very useful because, when I looked at a reading passage, I wasn't overwhelmed because I knew that this is this type of reading and this is the typical structure of the text. So I know what to look for, and I know what those paragraphs and those sections are. Same with listening. I knew what to listen for and what to expect, and that sort of helped me organize it in my head. I wasn't just listening to a flow of information where I needed to memorize everything and take notes on everything. What was the student's name again? Nothing like that. The only thing I really didn't enjoy was the time limit on the writing section. The first writing type I was okay with. I had some time left over to kind of go over it and proofread it and check for typos or mistakes. But the second writing task, that one was, I don't know, because it was an opinion piece, I just went. And I was spinning it, and it was so great. And then I looked at the time, and I had 30 seconds left. So I did not get a chance to proofread. That was the only part where my English teacher brain completely turned off. And I was just, wow, I have so many opinions about this. And all of these people are wrong. And let me tell you why. And I was just so passionate about it that, I forgot what I was doing. I thought I was just fighting with people online. So don't do that. That was a mistake on my part. I lost track of time. Another mistake I made was I forgot to take notes during the listening part for the first section of it, for the first task, I mean. Because I was like, okay, let's do this, I got this. And then I started listening, and I'm like, oh, this seems interesting. So I was listening, and then I had to do the first one by memory completely. So I definitely effed up there. So my prediction is probably going to be around anywhere from 100 to 110. I wouldn't expect anything more than that just because of the mistakes that I made that I, just told you about. But we'll see. Okay, it's finally 5 days later, and I officially got my results. Last time I took TOEFL, I got 111 out of 120. And broken down, it was 30 out of 30 for reading, 26 out of 30 for listening, 29 out of 30 for speaking, and 26 out of 30 for writing. That was last time. Now, this time, you saw I did a speed run of sorts. And my score now is 109, right? So 25 reading, 25 listening. Makes sense. Speed run. Don't do that. But now here's the kicker. 30 out of 30 for speaking and 29 out of 30 for writing, which I told you guys earlier. Writing, I didn't feel that good about that one, but I got 29 out of 30, which is nice because I definitely ran out of time because I got carried away. Now, what was different about my approach this time, aside from the speed run and all of that, for speaking specifically, I was using very strict templates that I have prepared for TOEFL, right? It's something that I share with my students all the time, the students that express their interest in TOEFL, and I always give them those templates. And, you know, this is the structure that you follow to nail the speaking, right? Last time I took TOEFL, I didn't use that because last time I was approaching it as just like, you know, I'm just a random native speaker trying to do this, right? So I didn't necessarily use any kind of structure or template or any kind of specific format in my speaking answers. This time though, I did everything step by step. Everything was very well structured according to my templates. So I got 30 out of 30, which is not surprising. I'm surprised about writing for sure, because once again, I didn't feel great about that. Reading and listening, not surprised because I was trying to do it as fast as possible, right? So obviously there were details that I obviously missed because of my desire to do it as fast as possible. But last time I did it, I did 30 on reading and 26 on listening. But last time I took TOEFL was my first time doing the home edition, so I wasn't sure what I was allowed to do and when I was allowed to take notes or not. And I didn't want to interrupt and ask the proctor, and it was just a whole thing. This time I was definitely more confident, but this time I had a different objective. But anyway, so if you can take anything away from this video, don't do a speed run, right? Take your time. You have time. Take as much of it as possible. Don't take too much, but take as much of it as possible. That's number one. Number two, for speaking, you want to stick to a very strict sort of template and formula. And with writing, stay on top of the time. Don't get carried away. And for writing, there are templates and formulas as well that you can follow, right? So make sure you keep that structure going. So yeah, this is my score, 109. I mean, it's slower than last time, but we know why. But I'm pretty happy with my results. I can get into Harvard, I think. And if you want to get great results, you know, something like 30 out of 30 on the speaking part, right? The link is down below. Sign up. This is my TOEFL prep course, like I told you guys before. So hopefully I'll see you there. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.